All right, let's get into some manual testing of our round robin zip code trigger. I've already created the zip code objects that has the users in them. Now I'm going to manually create some leads. I would only really recommend this in the sandbox. Manually creating our first lead here, putting in the zip code that matches, and let's check the details. And we see that the user was set to our current user, so that doesn't really help out. Let's actually change the order of these. And like I said before, this zip code trigger goes based on the first person. Let's create a new lead, same zip codes, save this. Check the details, there we go, Hobbs is our person. I'm going to update this record so we can show the repeating aspect of the round robin. Let's go into Visual Studio and actually run some anonymous code. To run anonymous code in SFDX, we're going to go down into the bottom of our handler class, and we just need a specific section to call some anonymous code. We can do this in a different file, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. In our example, I'm going to simulate a list of leads coming into the system. Maybe this came from like a CSV upload or some type of integration that dumped a bunch in at the same time. We can see that I'm using our new shorthand way of creating leads, filling out some information, making sure that that postal code matches. Then let's call an insert on this list that we have here. To run anonymous code, we're going to select our two lines, press Ctrl-Shift-P to open up our extensions panel, search for anonymous, and let's go ahead and execute anonymous Apex with current selected text. Basically, whatever we have selected will run anonymously, just like if we were doing it in the developer console. All right, looks like it has run. If we scroll up, we can see the logs that have run, and it looks like we got caught by some duplicate rules. And really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and turn those off just for the sake of demonstration. Once again, this is just a quick manual way of testing. You should be writing correct unit tests when you're trying to deploy this, and you can't actually deploy this without any unit tests, but for just a visual check, we're going to go ahead and run this. Checking at the logs, looks like everything's good. Let's go and search for our lead. I think the name was test 0. Here we go, got 2 of them, so the other one must have gone through. And if I look at the details, there it is set to Hobbs. Going to create a quick list view to show all the leads. There we go, filter by all. Save that, and we can see everything is in here. Since I only inserted one, tester, which is Hob, has ownership. All right, let's go ahead and I'll show you how to run the anonymous code a little bit cleaner. I'm going to create a new file and take the anonymous code that I had in my handler so that I can leave that fresh and put it into this new document that I just created. Let me go ahead and pull out the lead that we were creating and put it into the list itself so we can add a bunch in at the same time. There's no syntax highlighting because we have it in a plain text version in Visual Studio. Let's go ahead and update that to Apex so we can see all the fancy colors. Cool, that works out. Let me paste a bunch of dummy data in here, update it a little bit, and let's run our anonymous code. So in this instance, if we press Ctrl-Shift-P to pull up the extensions and we type in anonymous, we're actually going to see it says with editor contents. So it's going to run everything that's in the editor as if it was in the anonymous window. Go back into Salesforce. Let's refresh our list, and boom, it looks like there we go. Everything looks good. In the right column with the owner alias, we can see it's being rotated from test user 1 to user, which is our user. Everyone that is in the correct zip code based on the zip code object. So if we add more people in, we will just continue to rotate through the list. I'm going to add in another record here, and user should actually be rotated through twice before it gets back to Hobbs. Paste in another record. 6, Let's go ahead and execute our Apex again so we can see this additional user getting added into the list. Refresh this and we can see here, this actually doesn't look right, probably because of the names. Let's sort this by created date. And there we have it. We have test user and then user going through twice and then test user again. There we go. That's everything for the zip code round robin trigger. Not something you would really use in production unless you wanted to start with the same person, but did go over some really neat and key concepts for coding, and it's giving us some exposure to different techniques that we can use for looping. So I hope you found this helpful. If you're looking for an even deeper breakdown of some of the concepts we went over, check out the links in the description where you can see some additional resources to help you understand all of the things that we've gone over. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe and let me know what you would like to see us go over next.